Way Forward 12 GS14, Challenging Anti-Semitism in the United Church of Canada. To the facilitation team, please.
Thank you, moderator. There's generally broad support for this proposal. Some groups made connections to the church's justice work on the Palestine-Israel conflict. Several groups also highlighted the importance of coming to a clear definition of what we mean by the term anti-Semitism. In addition, there were calls for educational resources that are informed by a diversity of Jewish voices so that we can continue to grow together. We suggest that the General Council affirm this proposal.
Could poll number 1 be brought up, please? Do you feel that what the facilitation team heard generally reflects a summary of all the discussion groups? I would invite the poll to be closed and the numbers to be shared. Could poll number 2 be brought up? Do you feel the suggested way forward reflects what was heard? I would invite you to end the poll and share the results. Recognizing the results of the poll, I would go to the wording, please.
From the facilitation team, the wording before the Council is that the 44th General Council 2022, in response to GS14, affirm this proposal.
And it is moved by Michael Blair and seconded by Sue Broderick. It's been moved and seconded. Is there anyone who wishes to go to the speakers list? Murray Spear.
Thank you, moderator. This issue, I believe, is very important, particularly given the consideration that will be undertaken regarding the situation in Palestine. I don't know if this is an amendment or not. I would like to ensure that we are prepared to not only study and learn and express, but also to take concrete action to combat anti-Judaism and anti-Semitism in Canada and in the United Church. And I would just strongly urge that if we take concrete action against the actions of the State of Israel in Palestine, that we also must take concrete action in supporting our Jewish siblings and neighbors in Canada. I don't think that's an amendment, but that's my level of commitment to this matter. Thank you, moderator.
Thank you, Murray. Sam Grotenberg.
Thank you, moderator. I would echo what Murray said as well, but also in support of affirming this proposal. I wonder if there's a way to recognize the comment from the facilitation team that they heard calls for resources informed by a diversity of Jewish voices. If this work is to be undertaken, I think it is imperative upon us to consult with Canadian Jewish leadership, not just figure out what we mean by anti-Semitism without their input. I guess that isn't really an amendment either, but yeah, thank you.
I'll just remind the council that all of those notes, including the notes from the council from discussions, will go to the appropriate people at General Council office to make if and when these things are passed. Gord Waldy. Gord, you're live.
Yeah, I tried to unmute myself before they let me. So, Gord Waldy from Northern Spirit Regional Council. It's an implementation question for me. I think this is putting flesh on our commitment to be an anti-racist church. I also know that in this regional council, we've been trying to create a task group about what does it mean to live into being an anti-racist church, and we've had no take up. So how, as part of the implementation, how do we get our communities to buy in? Because it's great for General Council to have a discussion. It accomplishes very little if our communities don't buy in. So it's more a question on implementation that comes to my mind.
Thank you, Gord. Sandra Thompsons.
Thank you. I'm not sure if this is the right place to be saying this, and perhaps I should just send a comment to the equity desk, but I have heard the expression anti-Muslim also used, or anti-Palestinian also used in our meetings, and in the interest of equity, and perhaps even to give further clarity to what anti-Semitism is, we might consider as part of that education package understanding anti-Palestinianism as well.
Richard Marceau.
Thank you, moderator. Sorry, I was trying to unmute. My name is Richard Marceau. I am a Jewish guest to this council. And I understand that this resolution came from a follow-up to the anti-Semitic incident that I was the target of on April the 6th. I want to start by thanking all those of you who reached out to me directly after the incident. It warmed my heart after a very difficult moment for somebody like me who really believes in interfaith dialogue in Canada. As a member of the organized Jewish community, it pains me to say that Jews are the most targeted religious community in Canada in terms of hate crimes, according to Statistics Canada. And unfortunately, the source of anti-Semitism is not exclusively on the far right, and we saw it here in this very sacred space. In 2003, the United Church of Canada produced a very thoughtful document on the issue of anti-Semitism after a thorough engagement with the Jewish community. And I believe on those issues, as it was mentioned before, engagement with communities are important. It respects the not about us, without us. And I see this resolution, I hope it will be adopted as reaffirming the document bearing faithful witness that was created in 2003. And I hope that it can serve as a basis for an ongoing discussion. Thank you, moderator.
Thank you very much, Richard. Sabil Ecumenical Center, I believe it's Omar, but I'm not sure. Sabil? There.
Yes, Omar, thank you very much. Sabil, as a partner of the United Church of Canada, we've spent the last 3 years studying the topic of anti-Semitism. One reason is because Christianity is, sadly and embarrassingly, is the main source of anti-Semitism throughout history. Anti-Judaism and speaking against the Jewish people. The second part is all forms of discrimination are unacceptable as human beings and as people and as followers of Christ, including Islamophobia and all forms of discrimination. But what always comes to our attention when the topic of anti-Semitism comes up, sometimes it is done in the right way, to silence anti-Semitic voices. But sometimes it's done to silence the voices of Palestinians living under military occupation. There are so many, there's a variety of definitions that are available on the topic of anti-Semitism. Sabeel is producing a book together with over 200 scholars. There's the Jerusalem Declaration. There's multiple ones. So we ask you, when you're engaging in defining anti-Semitism, you keep in mind that you are against all forms of injustice and oppression and discrimination. Thank you, and appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Seeing that there is no one else on the speakers list, we will move to the ballot. Please open the ballot. It will be open for 1 minute from this point. If you are in favor that the 44th General Council 2022, in response to GS14, affirm this proposal, I would ask you to click yes. If you are opposed, please click no, then click continue and confirm your ballot, and it will come through. You know that you need to get there by going to voting on feed loop. The ballot should be present when you do that. If not, please refresh your page. The ballot will be open for another 30 seconds. I would ask the ballot now be closed. That proposal passes, is carried. Could we please move to GS?